Welcome back to the Word from the Wood Shop. I'm Bob Rhines, and I want to talk to you today about one of the most important things I have in my wood shop. No, it's not the table saw or the workbenches or even lighting. It's something else. Let me show you what it is here once. It's over here, and if you look real close, it's the floor. Let me tell you why. This floor is made up of Precious Moments figurines. It looks like concrete, but it's really Precious Moments figurines. Now you probably figured, oh, that's probably not the truth. So let me tell you the story behind this concrete floor. This isn't just a basic slab of concrete. There's a very touching, interesting story behind it. I had my shop in basements for a lot of years, and we came to a point where we needed more room in the house, another bedroom. So my shop had to go somewhere else. We had saved up for quite a while, and we had enough money to buy this 2-stall garage package. But we found out that we were a little short of money to put down the cement slab. So without any prompting from me, I didn't even know she was thinking about it. My wife, for years, in fact, probably since the time I knew her, she had been collecting these Precious Moments figurines. She had dozens of them. And it had gotten to a point where they weren't really on display. They were just in boxes, taking up room in the basement. Well, when we needed that money, she came to the conclusion on her own that these things I've been saving, these collector's items, are not doing me any good sitting in boxes in the basement. So she put them online and she sold them all. And with the proceeds, we had enough money to do the concrete floor, to have the cement poured. And I still appreciate what she did for me, for this shop, in doing that, in giving up those collector's items so that I could put cement in. So let's take this to the Word. What can we get out of this from the Word? Now, there's a lot of places I could go with this, a lot of different directions, but something I want to show you in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. Let me read them for you. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. Now, when you look at this passage first, you see a therefore, and it's talking about this great cloud of witnesses, and you got to wonder, okay, what are they talking about? What is the author here talking about? For that, you have to go back to chapter 11, and if you're a believer, you probably have heard about the Hall of Faith, the history of faith here. Chapter 11 talks about all these people through the Bible times, all the way up until this time here, that had given up things. They had lived for the Lord. They have been living hard times. They followed the Lord. They did it all in faith. And now this author in here in Hebrews is saying that. Look at those people. Look what they did. And now it's your turn. So what does he say to do? He says, let us also lay aside every weight and the sin which clings so closely. And that's what I want to talk to you here about today. Just like my wife gave up these Precious Moments figurines that were precious to her. They were special to her. She did save a few of them, by the way. But she gave them up. Even though they were special to her, there are things in our life. It talks about two different things. Weight that drags us down, and sin which clings closely. So it's really the weight that I want to talk about. There are things in our life, God calls us to live for him, that there are things in our life Not necessarily bad things. There are things that may be dragging us down. It calls us to run the race of endurance that is set before us. God has a plan for each of our lives. If you're a believer, God has a plan for you. He's given you gifts to use for his kingdom. He's given you ways that you can serve other people. He's given you ways that you can glorify him with your life. And that's the race that they're calling you to run. But the problem is the baggage, that weight that clings to us. Lay aside every weight. You can't run a race with all kinds of weight hanging on you. So what are we talking about here? What kind of baggage may we be having to keep us from serving the Lord properly like he wants us to, like he's prepared for us to do? What kind of baggage could that be? Maybe it's excessive times in hobbies. This is a great wood shop. I love coming out here, but it doesn't consume me. I love the word. I love serving the Lord in church. I love doing things like that. Maybe it's your hobbies. Maybe you've spent so much time on hobbies that you don't have time for the word. You don't have time to delve into Bible studies or serve in church. Maybe it's other things like time on social media. I know that sounds kind of hypocritical. Here I am putting something out for you to watch, but too much time on social media takes us away from time serving the Lord and time in his word, time serving him. Maybe it's sports or time for self. I need just time for me today. Maybe it's all these things. You have to do this yourself. You have to look at your life and see what is in my life that is very precious to me, that is getting in the way of serving God the way he wants you to. God has a special call on your life that he wants you to do, and things may get in the way. So then look at this. We have this great cloud of witnesses that are kind of our example in one way, but there's another example in this passage, the real example. Verse 2, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. So it may sound like you're really giving up something. It's painful. I don't want to do this baggage I like. The reward is greater. Look at what Jesus did. He's our example. Jesus is very God. He had everything he needed in heaven. He gave up all of that, come down here and live in this miserable, sinful world so that you and me, we could have salvation. He did all that for us. He gave up everything for us. He gave up life. He was punished by the Father for us. So there's a little baggage we have to give up. Some things that we have to say, okay, no more. Maybe just do them in moderation, not giving up totally, but making sure that time for God comes first. So I would say, examine yourself. See what's in your life that's really important. Maybe you have to make the realization that my time with God hasn't been all that important to me and things need to change. But look for the baggage. Even if you're serving the Lord well right now, look for the baggage. I think it's good for all of us to see what's important in my life. Is it the baggage or is it glorifying God, my Father? He gave me everything. I have life, salvation. I have a reward in heaven someday. My wife gave up precious moments to get concrete for me. What are you willing to give up for the Lord so that you can bring him glory, so that you can expand his kingdom, so that you can share the gospel with people and live more importantly and more fully for him? Trust me, the reward is unmeasurable. Thanks for watching. See you next time here in the Woodshop.